Good, bad, and ugly Java. I'll read the good, then the bad. I'm the ugly. Here we go. You remind me of a friend I had when I was homeless in Baton Rouge, as he would say. I'd offer you a shed and car to fix up, but there isn't anything within walking distance, so probably wouldn't squat there. If I didn't have kids, I'd be getting a bedroom ready and sending you a bus fare. You're too damn smart to be homeless, but then so was I. Oh hey, I got one for you with a flat earth. Now I'm going to cover a couple of these really quickly because it's very important. Everybody's experience with dealing with homelessness is different, and I really should do a stack of videos on it. I realized today I should also do a stack of videos on security, because what I'm good at is these two things, and this doesn't seem to make sense. Can't live in a car. I have tried to do it. Vans, everything. It's easier to survive in a tent than it is in a car, even if it's trying to be insulated, because it's a magnet for moisture and it always goes to hell. You end up stripping and making a work vehicle out of it and then putting a wooden box in it and living in a crate, which is the best way to do it in a car. Just make sure you seal all of the surfaces, all the wood, with a thick filler to the rest of the car, which means you want to wood line the car and then fill it with great stuff. Just going to cover that because might as well throw something in here useful for everyone. Anyway, here we go. Flat Earth. Now, this is a person's observation. They haven't, in my opinion, this person has not come to a true conclusion, a completed conclusion or conclusion, and they're asking me to evaluate. So I'm going to evaluate. Here we go. When I flew home from New Zealand, I saw icebergs for the first 4 hours. So despite how much I love believing that what warring governments say or what I see on TV, when I rely on my own memory and original info, like the first person to sail around Antarctica, doing so twice for no reason, it's not a matter of whether I know it's flat or round. It's that I know I've been bullshitted with square map and the ship sailing off the edge as a concept, I'm assuming. If they didn't bullshit us, I wouldn't think they were hiding anything. Now, I'm going to interrupt here real quick. Or, in the past, they didn't know any better than you did and they're faking it. Always remember, it may not, it's a British term, cock up before conspiracy, or evil. Maniacal laughter versus fetid, oh my goodness, how do I fix it? People screw up more often than they do something bad. Most of the terrible things in this world are horrifyingly bad accidents caused by people just not knowing what to do or how to do it. Always remember that. But anyway, here we go with the rest of the statement. I don't consider myself as having made an empirical conclusion. I just reject that heliocentrism has. Okay. For me, it's actually about spiritual reality. Now that part I'm not going to argue with. Finding your center, or finding the center of the universe, is a very subjective thing. So I don't have any kind of argument for that. That's not a problem. This is also like people believing in a God, or that there should be a God, or there ought to be a God, and not really paying attention to any particular religion. They just believe that there has to be one. There's no real argument against that. That's a perfectly sound conclusion because of the nature of it. It's one of those things that does go not beyond science, but it's parascientific. Let's just say that it's next to it. Now I'm going to read this off. So triggered. The actual quantum realization of either model depends on the observer. Now this is a really good sentence, because this sentence is not even wrong, and it's also not wrong. Quantum realization, Schrodinger's reality here, or Schrodinger's cat. Depending on the observer, either model is just based on your realization of it. So I don't mind this statement. I'm going to copy this all into the bottom here. That's a long story. Just wanted to give you something to consider. Oh, and the HARP thing. Seems to me like they're an array of THAAD batteries. I'm going to read off the definition. I had to look that up. Thank you for giving me something to look up. I might even do a vid on it. But what do I know? I'm not a shill. They know everything, and it's Hillary Clinton's fault. They don't know everything. They're buffoons, and they mess up really terrifyingly sometimes. But I'm only going to argue with you on the little dinky points here. Despite how much I love believing what warring governments say or what I see on TV, I sense some sarcasm. Now, on the ice, I have relatives who've actually been to Antarctica. I have, but I haven't been there. Unless everyone is willing to become a world traveler and or do hardcore experiments, which take months, but not years. Like, you're really bored when you're not going to be able to figure these out, or more importantly, you're not going to be able to make the mistakes I've made to find out I was wrong and having to correct them. It's not that you learn something. It's that you learn that you can screw up so badly that you teach yourself something totally ass backwards. But you have an experience I didn't have. That's interesting. Love to ascend the flight path and the bill. Okay, now I'm going to bring up THAAD battery because I'm going to do this. Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, formerly Theater High Altitude Area Defense, is a United States Army anti-ballistic missile system designed to shoot down medium and intermediate range ballistic missiles in their terminal phase using a hit-to-kill approach. THAAD was developed as a need to develop missile defense against Iraqi Scud missiles. Basically, now he's thinking the THAAD array hypothesis for HARP, which is a bunch of antennas. Now, if it was a radio signal attack system, it's poorly designed in the wrong location, in my opinion, but almost not. Next. Yeah, it does look like a damn battery in an array that would be for launching. That's a damn good point. Could just be it could be ninjas and lasers and anyway, thank you for the comment. That was the good. Now let's get to the bad. Now this isn't bad because they're saying nasty things about me. I'm going to read it mostly. But here we go. Now I'm going to put this in the array of things. This is the array of things people have said to me that sound nice, that were said in a mean way. Some of it, for instance, being called the pretty boy in Portland, getting hit on by middle-aged men. Weird sensation. How you doing, Ben Time Traveler? Next, let's just do this one. Or anyway, here we go. I'm going to read it in whatever comical voice I want to, because I can, but I'll leave the comment below. Science dude. Interesting that you hide behind your hashtag, a nameless physicist. Won't give your name or disclose any professional credentials. My resume is on the net, you twit. Next. Relative training or science background, etc., and yet attempt to portray yourself as some kind of troll come lately self-appointed expert on subjects which you are belligerently attempting to debunk. Counterpoint. All I do is look up other people's proof that they're attempting to shove down everybody's throats saying this is reality and pointing out that they didn't prove their point or they faked it. When someone fakes evidence, I do that. And this is, you're posting on the Saatchi Electric, you're refusing to address the video's content. You're posting this as a quasi-review of my assertion that I've never made. So you're literally making me into a straw man that doesn't match any damn thing. And you're making an ass of yourself. And you didn't address the video. Now you're going to talk about yourself, partially. And I'm going to remind everybody on Fleet Week or whatever, when everybody comes into town on those boats, when all the ships come in and all the sailors come out, everybody's a sailor, because there's an outfitting store that provides sailor outfits. Just got to make sure you don't fake up the stuff to the point that you have stolen valor. And everybody is a Navy SEAL Team 6, because apparently there's thousands of people in SEAL Team 6. Everybody is a badass. So anyway, here we go with your commentary. I'm a trained hands-on military and private sector contractor satellite communications engineer with a 35-year career working for Rocketdyne Boeing Aerospace builders of the shuttle rocket motors. Alright, if you want your comment to post, all you have to do is tell me what disaster that's related to and where you were that day. Claiming a 35-year history, which disaster is associated with those rockets? Not the shuttle explosion. No, I'm talking about the other disaster. Sir, I must state, false respect much, that you're either a paid nasshole shill or... Okay, NASA doesn't pay a bunch of people to prop up their propaganda machine you're claiming exists, because we're all voluntarily telling you that you're wrong about it. I think NASA's a kind of a giant waste of money sometimes. But when people post faked proof to say that NASA always lies, never a straight answer, when you try to ask, and the people who are trying to prove that always post fake proof, that means they're propping up NASA more than I could. NASA couldn't pay for a better advertisement system than Nibiru-tards. Or a narcissistic, out-of-work elementary school child psychologist or wannabe establishment social engineer. Okay, social engineering is a subsect of hacking, so you're getting a little closer, but all I ever did was I played the face man and would walk into places you're not supposed to be able to walk into without giving ID. But most of all, you're a very He's saying I'm a mediocre bullshitter. You can look at the spelling and the verbiage. Please stop trying to sound smarter than you are. I fail at it, you fail at it, we all fail at it. Please just stop that. I really doubt that you have anything to do with Rocketdyne or whatever. And again, you're one of these people who says that NASA's lying, and you're then saying that you worked for them. You didn't do any high-level work or anything to where you would have any in-the-know information. You're probably a disgruntled worker that got fired for doing something obnoxious. Please be able to post what that actual disaster was. It's one of the largest domestic explosions I know of. But anyway, here we go. You don't have a single clue regarding anything of which you speak. No, I don't. I just ask the people who are making the claim that the Earth is flat or that satellites don't exist to provide some proof, and then I point out that they don't have it. My job, if you want to call it, my task, my calling in life is so easy. I let someone try to prove a point badly and point out that they failed at it. That's it. This is the point of the assertion must be backed up with proof. This is the point of saying to someone the burden of proof is on the person making the assertion. Because if they can't back it up, they're wrong. No one has to disprove them. They have to prove their point. And when you catch them posting fake proof or refusing to acknowledge that their proof doesn't match what they're saying, you've won. And people don't think, well, that's not enough. Yes, it is. That's all that's required to prove that someone is basically either lying outright or is posting something that has nothing to do with it. And in that case, in that video, it's the same thing. And you claim to be somebody who's been doing 35 years of highly technical work and being associated even slightly with NASA. Okay. And because by your own admission of ignorance, as stated in the subject description box above, you should immediately fold this channel up and really, dude, go out and find some more meaningful day job. Making fun of people like you is my day job. I'll never run out of work. Next, refusing to acknowledge a person's inadequacies in a specific area. You should always acknowledge that you don't know something. We start from ignorance. That's how it works. Based on your irritating background street noise, it would appear that you're probably homeless, which leads me to believe that you are a Soros BLM crisis actor positioning yourself up to up your pay scale by adding this garbage rhetoric channel to your resume. Okay, now we're at the point you're really believing that Soros and Black Lives Matter, you knew that was Black Lives Matter, collects crisis actors from the home. You really have no idea. You've never worked at NASA. If you have, they fired you for being mentally ill or just being an idiot or a troll. I hope you address this critique and offer some substantive rebuttals for valueless arguments, blah, 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 blah. You didn't even note what the video was about. You didn't discuss the video. Your argument's invalid because you didn't make one. You've literally fired a blank. Why are you doing this? A second chance to expose your mindless ignorance. Come on, I dare you. So if I look at your video channel, am I going to find any content? Do you stick your neck out at all? I'll see in a minute. Maybe you do. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with all that.